All right, y'all, we are back with another episode of Alumni on Air. And this is our video podcast for Teach for America Memphis, where we bring an amazing alums like this into the Teach for America Memphis office. And we get to hear their stories, how they got here, what made them stay here, and the impact they're having in Memphis. It's a good old time, so make sure you are comfortable, you are cozied up with something warm to drink, and you're ready to engage and hear about this amazing story that is really close to me because this person is near and dear to my heart. Who am I? I'm Dr. Jarmeisha Hayes. I am the Managing Director of Programs for Teach for America Memphis, and I lead our alumni team along with the most amazing person who is just brilliant, does all the things organizationally. Like, I have ideas and he's able to make them happen and do all the detail stuff, and I'm just like, yes, because I don't like all the detail stuff. And that is James Larkin. Thank you, James, for all the things you do, making sure that everything has a punctuation. Even though I was an English major, I don't like all the grammar stuff. But anyway, this person loves English, loves all things with writing and reading because they're really great at it. And this is my former, I coached this person when I was on TFA staff as a coach. And so without further ado, I want to introduce Jarmeisha Gladney. All right, so tell us again, who are you, your name, and if there's any history behind your name.
Yeah, so of course I'm Jarmeisha. Look, Jarmeisha and Jarmeisha. Yeah, that was always so interesting once we had got paired together. I'm Jarmeisha Gladney. The story behind my name, it's not much interesting to it. My father, he wanted to name me Jarmeisha, and my mom was like, sure, let's go for it. Yep.
I love it. And so did your dad have a J name, or?
Yes, his name started with a J.
Okay.
His name is Jamil.
Got it. So my dad was James, and so my mom was like, James, hi, we get to James. And I was like, that's always been the joke. Well, okay, so where are you from? Tell them where you're from.
Yeah, I am from Memphis, Tennessee.
Come on.
Of course.
901
yeah,
down.
Exactly. South Memphis, to be exact.
Oh, okay. Put a
Yep.
stamp on that.
South Memphis, to be exact.
Okay, and so how did you hear about Teach for America? What happened to say, I want to do TFA? Was it during college, and if you did found it during college, what college did you go to?
Yeah, so I went to UT Martin, so I didn't go that far. And I was an English major, and I minored in French.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually my French advisor who told me about Teach for America because I was doing, I was an SI for her, which is basically a supplemental instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I would go into her classes and help her teach the students and then hold tutoring sessions. She was like, do you have a plan for after college? And I was like, I have no idea. I just know I like to do English stuff. And she said, well, you're very good at teaching. So it was actually my French advisor, Dr. Florido.
Okay, shout out Dr. Florido.
Who told me about Teach for America. And then, of course, just going through, I said, oh, I can choose Memphis. Let me choose Memphis. So
I love it. I love it. I did not have the same story as a core member. I was not going to choose Memphis, but at least you got to go away a little bit for college. I was here at Rose, and so I was just like, I got to get out of here because I'm an Memphian as well. And yeah, but you know what? It's okay. It's still great. I've traveled. I've done things. I just have not had the opportunity to fully live more than a couple months somewhere else. So,
yeah.
So you joined the Corps. What was your Corps year?
2015.
2015. Okay, shout out 2015. And so how was your institute experience? So you got into the Corps, you got the city you wanted, you got the subject you wanted. Mm-hmm. So you got everything.
Yeah, look, it was just a line. So I just knew, I was like, well, this must mean that it's met because everything is aligning. Got my first choice, I'm back at home. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to, I can stay with my mom for a little bit and don't have to adult quite yet. Yes. So yeah, so everything was lining up, subject that I liked. So I was like, this is meant.
That it was, man. You were amazing. So I know that, y'all, because I coached her. But anyway, so tell me, for those that don't know, tell me about your institute experience and what that was like and how it prepared you for your fall placement.
Yeah. So that summer was a good experience for me. Even though I could easily go to my mom's house and stay there, I decided to stay on campus. Mm-hmm. just to, I guess, be in community and meet like different types of people who's all deciding to or being placed to come back or in Memphis. With this common vision, being around like the same people. I'm like, oh, you chose to be here, and I'm like, okay, and I just want to connect with them more. So Summer Institute was like a lot of connecting with other people that's very different from who I was, and because definitely thinking about how even though I went to UT Martin, I went away. UT Martin is nothing but 2.5 hours away. So it wasn't always too far from home because I was always coming back. So just getting to meet all these different types of people, I really liked that experience. And then the summer school teaching experience, I was like, okay, I might know what I'm doing. I'm doing something a little bit. Like, okay, I'm doing something a little bit. So
I love it. And you all got the full experience. And I love that you named that you decided to come on campus. So back in the day, for those that are like, now we have virtual summer training. It was a hybrid situation where you start virtually and then you gradually come to your city or region, and then you do stuff in person and continue on in person for your next 2 years. But back then it was 100% in person. You started day one at University of Memphis, and you had to, and when you had a choice, and I love that you did that because you chose the community aspect, and I think that's what people miss. A lot of people can go and teach anywhere and learn how to teach from a traditional program or another alternative teacher preparation program. But I think what's unique about TFA is that community that we're able to form going through the experience. So you got through your summer training, you did great. Then what was your fall school placement, and what was the experience like teaching those first couple of years?
Yeah, so I had a very unique experience because I was at one school, and then for my second year, that's when I had moved to another school, which is rare. The first school that I was at was a school called Grad Academy Memphis, and I was teaching 10th grade English. And like, you were there for me, and I really very much appreciate that because I would say my first year was like the most trial periods. There wasn't much support from anybody or anything except for what you were providing. So it was hard. Yeah, it was very hard. And even like the way that next year, they let me do 1 week of in-service, and then they was like, yeah, your position has been surplus, and you're in TFA, they'll find you another placement. And I'm like, school is starting. Like, okay, so of course, TFA, y'all had my back. And I was boots on the ground the next day, like, because I cried the first day because I just moved into my apartment, and just to find out I didn't have a job, I was like, I just cried, and then the next day I'm like, okay, gotta hit these interviews that TFA set up for me, and then I got placed at Soulsville Charter School, and still there.
See, everything happened for a reason.
Yes.
You never know. And it really is a blessing in disguise. And I think, I remember your first year, and it was a lot. But you pushed through, you persevered through, you always had a positive attitude, and you always showed up for your kids. You always really showed up to make sure your kids were seen as people, but also instructionally, you were always pushing their thinking and helping them really make sense of it. And I would have loved to have seen you stay, another year if you could have, but I think Soulsville became, I saw a different Jarmeisha, baby. It was a whole other light in that space. I came to the school, I said, oh, you was good, but you was real good your second year. So what was it like at Soulsville your second year?
Well, it just goes back to like, I've just known and understood that I was a person that always thrived in community with people, and I didn't have that at my first school. So then I got to Soulsville. The reason why I thrived so much because I was in community with so many like-minded people, and like we're a team and we're all teaching the same kids, and like, what do you need? Try this out, try that out, and like seeing admin, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, you actually step outside your office and give like feedback and things like that with that support as well. Like, I felt like that was a turning point where I was like, okay, I'm good at teaching now.
You are.
Like, cause I'm actually starting to connect the pieces.
Yeah.
Even though I did try to keep the positive attitude my first year, it was just really like a cementing of like, I know what I'm doing.
Yes, and you did. And I think that's why when we think about, and I remember coaching you and asking you, what do you want to do long term? With your second year, we started to focus on not just instructional, but what is going to be your impact? Because we know that Teach for America is about one day all children have access to excellent education. Mm-hmm. And so teaching is one pathway, but people do lots of things. But you were very adamant that your pathway was going to be what?
To be a coach.
Yes. That was her adamant. I said, okay, you're going to be a coach. And so I was like, so how are we going to get there? And so you told me how you get there. And so you stayed at Soulsville after your second year. And you were just a teacher second year, but then walk me through what happened post that second year and how you got to where you are today.
Yes, I knew that I wanted to be a coach, and like even like when I told you like I want to be a coach, I was like, I don't care if it's instructionally or culture. It's like, because I like each side of it. Because I always thought that what I was doing in my classroom, it shouldn't be like an isolated thing.
Right.
So like teaching and helping teachers will ultimately continue to help kids, and that's like a wider impact.
Excuse me, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. So,
and so how your third year, you still were teaching.
Mm-hmm, you still teaching.
And then what was the progression to get to coaching?
Yeah, so after that, I started taking on more teacher leader opportunities. One of the 7th grade, I was placed on 7th grade. So in the 7th grade team lead, she decided to move on to a different school, which was Sam Buford, also TFA. Also TFA. She was my 7th grade, my team lead.
That's what I love. I love a good school with a lot of TFA alums. There's something about it.
Yeah. So of course, seeing how she organized things and everything made me good at organizing. So then when she left, then of course I was approached to then start leading the 7th grade team, and I was like, okay.
In my footsteps, okay? You know, I was 7th grade grandmother chair. See? She came from good stock, okay?
Look.
She came from, we were making sure it was all divine. It was all design and divine.
Exactly. You just placed it in the right time. And then that led into a whole bunch of other opportunities. At one point, I was a department chair for our writing department before it got combined and we started putting reading and writing together to make ELA. So I was writing department chair for a bit, and then writing had got combined. So then I ended up having to lead or learn a whole new curriculum and get assigned a curriculum, and work closely with my dean of instruction and curriculum for middle school at that time, and she allowed me to do several opportunities where I led different PDs for our little middle school English department, and just anything that I could do to like get some type of experience. I did a stint of like culture coaching at one point, so I was just trying to like do every little thing I can, or like any way that I could help, and especially helping other teachers, because again, I don't think anything should be isolated. If something is working in somebody's classroom, we need to like share the wealth.
We do.
So any little opportunity that I could take to be able to coach, whether that was formally or informally, help someone, then I just took the opportunity.
And so now your official title is what?
I'm a 6 through 12 social studies instructional coach.
Come on now, come on y'all. You gotta make a vision, make it plain, and then do the work. And that's what you did. you had that vision from your second year. You were adamant. You did not want to change it, and I'm so proud of you because you took it. You took all that you knew. You were always such a sponge, always leaning in, learning, providing feedback to other people, and then you use that to continue to build. And now, is it 10 years later?
Yeah, well, so now this is my 11th year.
11th year.
10th year at Soulsville, though, so I'm just
on.
like, whew.
And look at you. And look at what we started, look at what we are. That's amazing. And you always had a tenacity. And I think that's just so, but it's also, she's very sweet, y'all. You see how calm and warm she is. She's always been like that. So I've always admired that. And I think that it's just one of the things, you just had a great spirit and energy about you that allowed for things to flow for you. And I think that's a good thing. You have a good temperament. So, given all of your experiences, if you take a moment to reflect, if you go back in time, what advice would you give yourself if you were, where you are now? What would you tell yourself when you were at grad and when you were in your first year? What would you say?
I would tell myself that everything will be okay. Stop worrying about everything. And it's all his plan and not yours, ultimately.
I think first year is such a, I know when I came in, when I was doing the core, I apologize, I can't remember who the person was that was my summer coach, but I was so intense, and it was like, it's gotta be right, you gotta hit this, and y'all have to teach me how to teach, because I never taught before. If you don't teach me, then the kids are gonna fail, and I was just, woo! Whoever you are, I owe you, okay? But if you see this and you know you're my coach, you call me and we talk and I'm gonna take you to dinner because I owe you. Because I was trying to put too much pressure on myself instead of allowing it to flow and not worrying and really remembering that it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be a success, especially if I do the work and I believe in myself and believe in the people I'm working with.
Yeah, mine was more inward, like with my worry, to where it would like make me sick. I wasn't like expressing I was worried. People were like, you got it, and I'm like, yeah. Go home at night and just cry and worry about it. So it was mine was more so inward, and I think that's kind of worse. Because I was just like, I'm living with all of these thoughts in my mind, and I wasn't expressing it because again, I'm just like. Sweet temperament and just like, yeah.
That's mine right there. And I would know what she would do. It was different. It's a little bit of inflection when she's seriously okay and when she's not okay. And that's when I'm like, okay. So what would your advice be to recent alums? What would you say to them saying, hey, you just finished the core, you're going into your third or fourth year or even fifth year. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I would say to just be intentional about everything. Know and understand who you are. And I always talk about spiritual gifts. What your spiritual gifts are, and operate in that and lean into it. The more you lean into it and be yourself and play into your strengths, then the easier things tend to be. Don't try to be anybody else or model your career or what have you behind anybody else. Just know what your strengths are, know what you want to do, be intentional, write it down if that helps too. I keep my why in my phone and I revise it every year.
I love that. I love that. Write down your why every year and then revise it as well each year so that you can make sure that you're still motivated. Because I do think you can get burnt out if you don't remember and if you don't alter, because what served you in one season of your life, it might not be the same for the next season. Love it. Well, our time is literally flew by. I didn't know it was going to go that fast.
Yes.
Once I have more time with you, but I want to say again on camera how proud I am of you. I was impressed with you when I first met you, and I'm impressed the fact that you are that person that said, this is what I'm going to do. And now you're doing it and having so much of that impact that you said you wanted on not just teachers, but kids across a school community. That's amazing. And you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Now, y'all, unfortunately, we're going to have to say see you later. But before we do that, there was a lot of great gems in this conversation. I think one thing I want to elevate for you all is the part that Jarmeisha named for you all about knowing your strengths. And so if you know your strengths, put them in the chat below, because sometimes we don't remember, we forget what our strengths are, or we need to be reminded. And so take this time to write them down and let others see, because maybe your strength is somebody else's area of growth and they can reach out to you and say, hey, can you help me with that? That's the first thing. The second thing I want you to do is, I think you need to write down your why. I love that. I think, ask yourself, when was the last time I wrote down my why, and when did I revise it? Because it's so much happening right now in our lives and in the world, and you could be motivated for lots of different reasons, but you got to make sure you're honing in on what it is and using that to fuel your fire. So those are 2 action items. That's your homework for this episode. Please do, and I'll be checking in on it next episode. See you later.